Hello my friends, welcome back to another episode of Inside the Gear. Today we'll be talking about the Hoverjet in both sizes, and today we also have my colleague Ivan here.
Hi, I'm Ivan.
And he'll be also sharing some of his insight on the Hoverjet. So let's get to it. Ivan, do you want to share the audience like what the Hoverjet is about?
This is the Hoverjet we are talking about today. Topwater multifunction lure. Launched in 2018, become one of the best seller in bone fishing world. So this lure have two functions actually. So basically, it's a pencil, topwater pencil. Then you can switch to a different mode. Once you open the flap, you open the rear, you can be a prop mode. So basically this lure, we come out with two sizes. One with the 100mm 16 gram and then a 130mm. This one will be 28 gram.
So for Hoverjet, we wanted to make something that was like a topwater lure and incorporate the prop bait into multifunction topwater lure. And by doing that, we had to first design the prop. First, the prop has to be designed in the sense that it closes, so that we wanted to make something that casts wide, right? So the closing flap during the cast would increase the casting distance, because in most prop baits, when it's open, it kind of like goes against the wind. But in this, like, it closes in and giving it like no air resistance so that it can allow it to cast further. And the next point is to actually incorporate it into a pencil. So we actually designed this pinhole design, so it locks in the flaps. And that was the main like cause of designing this thing to make it work, which is what we use until now for the Hoverjet. And also, most importantly, you can change the modes easily, like by twisting. Yeah, of course, be careful when there's a hook on. If not, you might hook yourself. But we always try to hold the rear area here and twist it. So obviously, there's no hooks here, but something like that. Okay, so that's it. As simple as that. And when you want to change it back to pencil mode, just lock into the pinhole and lock it, and you will stay on. Yeah, for the duration of the walk the dog.
So Max, you want to share us about the construction?
Can. So basically, the construction for Hoverjet, as with all bone lures, we use high quality ABS plastic, which is very important, especially when we have designed this thing for like giant snakehead toman or like black bass, fish with like sharp teeth and stuff. So like with ABS plastic, it will like withstand or like be more durable during those scenarios of when targeting those fish, because they bite through. Some lures they are not ABS, really you puncture a hole in the lure and then it starts leaking. I mean the water goes in and then it sinks, it doesn't float anymore. So ABS plastic is quite important and is of industry standard. For the Hoverjet, is silent. We actually have one with rattlers, which is the race jet. A few years later then we designed the race jet, which is very similar to the Hoverjet, but the race jet is kind of like a even louder approach rattler, which I will talk in another video in the future. But we talk about Hoverjet. It's a silent approach. When you want to walk the dog, it's really silent. So internally, it's rear weighted slightly to the rear. And then of course, with all bone lures, we actually have the special spray coating for the spray paint. So there's actually improved durability, so the color won't fade, and also won't get scratched off easily. Yeah, with the spray coating. So this is a very special addition to our lures, for the colors and the coating, which we always like to emphasize on. Yeah. So moving on to the action, Ivan, what do you think? I'm sure you love the Hoverjet, right?
Hoverjet is one of my favorite. I always bring this everywhere I go. So basically, most of my trips, right, when I go for black bass fishing, peacock fishing, and giant snakehead, and then most of these like predator fish that likes to bite and then have sharp teeth, we usually like to use this type of Hoverjet. I mean, for one Hoverjet with two modes, and then you can sometimes even do chuck and post 3 modes. Try to attract the fish, because some fish, they are like, okay, today my mode is I want to eat slow retrieve. Maybe today I like a chuck and post, or today I like a silent one, walk the dog. Yep. The fish moods we sometimes cannot predict, so we always use multifunction lure to attract the fish, to get more attention, to get more bites, more catch. So basically, usually when I start fishing at the first moment, right, I will always use for walk the dog. 1 hour, 2 hours goes by, I will like, okay, my hand is numb. I'm tired. Then I'll go for flap. I will use the flap mode, open the rear, just easy, just slap, and then just straight retrieve all the way. But sometimes when we targeting fish like toman and either peacock bass, when we do walk the dog, right, sometimes the fish is not attracted.
They need more attention.
Yes, more attention. Then we will try to use prop sound while chuck and pose.
Yep.
Also, this is one of the most effective to attract the fish to come and take.
I think straight retrieve is also very effective. Like in so many scenarios, like whether it's peacock or like especially giant snakehead. I think everybody
they just
fish like giant snakehead
they just cannot resist.
and prop mode. I think when you see a rise and then you just cast over with prop mode, the confidence of the take is gonna be there. Like you know, high chance.
Yep.
Like it's very versatile. Like depending on the approach that you want, and depending on the different fish that you're targeting as well. It depends on, like, if you want a loud approach. Some fish, you know, they want it no sound, silent on the surface, and slow as well. You walk the dog slowly. It's also possible to work the lure slowly left and right. And then when you want it louder, like snakeheads, or you know, or you see a fish just holding there and you want it to come up the surface, chop and pause, hold it there, leave it there, pause on, you know, longer. It will definitely draw attention to all these fishes.
True.
For the action wise, I mean, there's quite a versatile and wide range of ways that you can play it. So what can you target with the Hoverjet? I think number one on the list here is giant snakehead for sure, and definitely prop mode.
Yes.
Like I would say 90% of the time or 95% of the time you're gonna use prop mode for giant snakehead, because I mean they kind of get attracted to this like the spattering as you retrieve, and you see a rise of fry ball. Some people fish fry ball. You cast over, straight retrieve. Definitely, like, you know, the confidence level just throw it. Yeah, like I said just now, confidence level up. And I mean, of course, I'm sure walk the dog will work for giant snakehead as well in certain scenarios. But I think definitely number one in my list, or when I think of Hoverjet, Topwater.
True. Even black bass.
Black bass
fishing.
is next lah. You know, like
Black bass fishing.
we've seen some areas in like West Papua, some areas in Indonesia where they're targeting those black bass in the narrow strips, the Ayong strips and all that. You know, definitely also using prop mode over the structures and snacks, like shallower or narrower water, and with success. You know, like we've caught. I mean, I've seen some of these guys with Hoverjet straight retrieve. I think chop and pause as well to attract them, or spot tail as well. Spot tail and black bass. Yeah, categorize them together. And like I would say also peacock bass fishing. Peacock bass, and if you look at Amazon, peacock bass fishing, they are using, like, you know, all those prop baits, Topwater. Definitely peacock bass fishing. Chop and pause, definitely chop and pause for peacock bass. These are like a lot of these freshwater fish. I would think about saltwater, like in the estuary scenario, you know, like topwater environment, I think chop and pause, gotta work slow, maybe walk the dog mode. So with the two different, like 100mm and 130mm, so these two sizes, you know, like for 100mm you can target like smaller stuff, you know, like river, you know, like those stream kind, Sabara.
You guys use this in marshal fishing as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, Ayong had some good footage on the marshal fishing. If you talk about tackle wise, I would say that 16 gram, well, I think like a medium rod can handle medium light even probably. And then the 28 gram, obviously you need like a medium heavy rod minimum. So everything that's above it, like heavy, extra heavy, no problem. So covers quite a wide range of tackle in terms of different fish. You want to use something that is like slightly fast in action, so that you can work differently. You know, if you want to do the chop and pause, at least it's stiffer to give it slightly stiffer. I mean, it doesn't have to be like definitely a combat beast or something like extra fast action kind of.
Yeah, true.
Just a medium fast to fast action is enough, at least. I mean, don't go like for a moderate rod, which is quite rare these days anyway. You're not gonna be able to work the lure properly. Yeah, I mean, of course you can do straight retrieve, but the chop and pause or with the walk the dog, you might have less response. So just a fast action rod. Okay, out of the box it comes with size 2, which is okay size, but some people like stronger hooks and they use like size 1, and absolutely possible. Like, it will not affect the action of the walk the dog and the prop bait. Some people want more confidence when they fish like giant snakeheads or other hard fighting fish. I think size 1 is fine.
For
So it
the
depends.
100 mm, it comes with size 4 from the box.
Yeah, man.
Yes, you can go to size 2.
Why we equip it with size 4 is because you want a lure to also balance out well and the action to balance out well. I think size 4 in most cases the hook is like sufficient in strength in that sense. So obviously if you hit some big fish on size 4 hooks, it's still kind of
True.
you still have confidence to land it lah, in
Yep.
that sense. But obviously you can upsize the hooks a bit, not too much, because then it's still a floating lure and it's still like a topwater lure, so you want to keep it on top of the surface, not below the surface.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Max, what's your favorite action? Walk the dog or prop mode?
I would like, if you ask me, right, I actually like the prop mode, but I like doing chop and pause.
Okay.
And I think chop and pause. Why? Because when you chop and pause, and then you can kind of see the fish chasing, or like coming for your lure in that sense. And then I would say pausing, it gives the time, gives enough time for the fish to come up with the lure. Generally, just generally. Of course, straight retrieve is quite fun also, because they kind of get a bit aggressive, like they chase, they chase all the way, and then they kind of like, because you're not stopping. But when you pause, I guess like maybe fish from deeper point might come up to for your lure. Yeah, so that's just how I feel. How about you, man? Like, what do you
My
do?
favorite is always the straight retrieve. Lazy angler.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So basically, I like to just cast land straight retrieve with the sudden attack. Pow!
Yeah.
Attack. That's
Okay.
my favorite.
But it definitely is a lazy lure. If you go for prop mode straight retrieve, I mean, you are actually doing something by doing nothing. I mean, you're not doing nothing. You're retrieving straight, but it's kind of like you don't have to twitch, you don't have to whatever, right? And then fish will bite.
Yes.
Fish will bite. So
Yes.
yeah. Well, then that's a great answer actually. Yeah.
You guys can leave it the comment what's your favorite mode and let us know. Then we'll see.
We come to the end of Inside the Gear episode today, and please let us know in the comments which products you want us to talk about next. Okay, so how we're gonna do it is we're gonna do it by rod, lure, rod, lure, rod, lure. So today's episode is a lure. Next episode will be we're gonna talk about a rod. So you can let us know which rod you all wish to know more about, and we'll go in detail with all these products in Inside the Gear. So until the next episode.
See you. Bye.
See ya.